Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This movie is another meh film for a franchise. And that sucks because you can tell from last year's box office that ain't superhero fatigue, it's not franchise fatigue, it's not, sick of this type of blah, it's mediocre fatigue. That's what it is. And this is another mediocre film. And it's so locked onto its roots. Like, it's so afraid to move forward that it's locking itself in the past. Like, we're at the library. So there's a scene where we're at the library from the first film. And there's a chase sequence. But we can't help ourselves but remind you that this is the library from the first film. So we'll show you the librarian ghost from that first film, and he's going to do the whole thing. We're going to lock onto that for like 20 seconds. And I'm like, there's no need for that. That breaks the scene and the amount of tension and what's important, what's at stake. It's too much of a, hey, remember that? And I'm like, no, because there's a lot of people who are going to see this film weren't even fucking born then. I've seen the original Ghostbusters, but that's because I'm a film freak, let's be honest. There's going to be a lot of teenagers out there who have never seen that first film. Their first exposure to Ghostbusters probably was 2016 and maybe Afterlife. Yeah, so why is that there? Slimer, why is Slimer in the movie? Why is all of the fucking OG Ghostbusters in this film? I will say this, Bill Murray's character did not need to be in this film. He's there for a scene, and then he shows up at the end. To have every living Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters assembled. I'm like, it's so locked in itself. Even like I get it's meant to be cute, but having like someone trying to do some, everything's gonna be alright by using the lyrics to the actual song, saying like, something strange in the neighborhood. Who's you gonna call? I mean, who you gonna go? Ghostbusters. You said it. It's so locked onto its nostalgia. It's just like, it can't move forward. Because, here's the thing. This is a movie that has some good moments in it. There's a great scene that is at nighttime at Central Park of a game of chess. That scene is really fucking good. That's a really good scene. You have a scene that is dealing with a lot of characters. That's Kenneth Grace's character. And she's younger. She's like 15. And, the real world starts knocking at the door and saying, like, guys, this is basically child labor. Like, and worthless and child endangerment. Like, she's 15. She can't be a Ghostbuster. Like, this is no different to like a cop or a firefighter or whatever. Like, she can't do this. She has to wait till she's 18 to say, yeah, I can do the Ghostbustering. So she's in this kind of limbo. Her character's in this limbo world where she's like, she knows what she wants to do, but she can't do it. She's everybody's saying makes mistakes. Be a teenager, get a tattoo or something. See a shoplift. But she's like, I just want to buck ghosts. I know what I'm meant to do for this world, and the world's blocking me. And I thought, okay, that's an interesting way to go. That's a good character arc. And there's a couple good scenes here and there. There's a couple good scenes with Daryl with Ray and Wilson about like growing old and leaving the past behind you, and maybe tapping in there a little bit. When is it time to say goodbye to a life that you had? Like, there's certain themes in this that work, and there's themes that explore, but it just so jumble up with a okay villain plot. Like, it does feel like they had the idea of a disaster movie with Ghostbusters. I'm like, okay, that's neat. That's a neat idea. That's a good, like, 90-minute movie. Or, like, 100-minute movie or 108, whatever. But they realized that we need to drag everything in. The jokes in this are like, in this. I thought there was a couple good jokes after the movie, but I didn't find it that appealing or interesting. I didn't. I thought most of them fell flat. Um, but yeah, and how am I? The third action sequence is a little bit underwhelming. I'm wondering with Ghostbusters, knowing it's just photon glass, knowing they just shoot like beams, if that is enough for like a modern audience. If the modern audience is, it's a little bit like, oh, that's it. Because I won't lie, when the whole third act happened, I was like, really, this is it? Like the villain is just gonna be standing there and is not going to do anything until the script says so or the movie says so. Okay. You get Kieran Jeremiah character, who, I at the beginning I was like, hey, it's I find I think he's funny, I think he's a really good actor. I enjoy his character a little bit, but it just feels like they were just adding on scenes and scenes and scenes and scenes. They didn't really have much going on with this movie until the end. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. For me, I'm like, guys, it's okay to make a 9-minute movie. It's okay to make it like it doesn't need to be 2 hours. If you have if your plot point is then this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and it ends to be like a 85-page script, it's okay. I feel like a lot of people feel like I know a lot of people these days are so locked with one times. Like one times are important. One times are important. If we give people a 9-minute movie, people don't want to see it. For them, they'll wait at home. It's like, no, they just want to see a good movie. Movie theaters need great movies again. And now I'm saying, hey, making a great movie is easy. No, it isn't. But you can show, you can see that from last year's box office, it's not super fatigue, it's not franchise fatigue, it's not blockbuster fatigue, it's mediocre fatigue. And this is now a mediocre film, and it's not a good year for Sony so far, because they gave us Metal Web, and now this. Not a good time to celebrate their 100th year. What's next? What's next on the list? Garfield? Okay, they'll be walking, kicking ass with anime stuff, so you never know. Maybe Garfield was gonna be like that thing, but anyway. But yeah, this movie, sadly I'll say, wait till we hit streaming.